What's up guys and welcome to FPL Today. I'm the man in the know, JNO, and welcome to Double Game Week 32, the Manchester City edition, where we focus on the Manchester City options and try and figure out the best City options to put into your Fantasy Premier League sides for Double Game Week 32. So if you think this is great content, you know what to do. Check out the links in the description down below to vote for FPL Today in the best Fantasy Football Creator category. Also, there's a link there that will send out a tweet which will also be your vote for me in the best Fantasy Football Creator category. Your guys' support can get me there. So moving on to the video after another shameless plug to get me nominated for the Football Blogging Awards. And we are looking at Manchester City with their two very favourable fixtures going into Double Game Week 32. So with such favourable fixtures, of course, we are going to most likely want to triple up on Manchester City options. It does, of course, help that Manchester City are one of the best attacking sides in the Premier League, facing two of the worst defensive sides in the Premier League. So naturally, we're going to want to maximise our points by taking advantage of the fact that Manchester City have two favourable fixtures in one game week. Now, there's plenty of things you could be doing this game week. You could, of course, be triple captaining, you could be wildcarding, you could be playing your bench boost. But if you're like me, you're playing your free hit, so you are literally bringing in as many potential options that could be scoring highly in this game week. And we're going to start off with the Manchester City defence to see if there's any favourable option there. And we're going to focus on four, and the four are Kyle Walker at 6.4 million, at Laporte at 5.9, Otamendi at 6 million, and Stones at 5.2. Now, in case you're wondering, if you're looking for the most nailed on option, Edison is your man. And I don't feel like I should be having to tell you that, but if you want to be guaranteed of a player playing twice in Game Week 32 for Man City, Edison is the safest choice out of everyone in the Manchester City team. Watch him not playing one of those games now. However, as far as points returned in the last 6 games played, and this is the last 6 games played and not the last 6 game weeks, Laporte at 5.9 million being the second cheapest Manchester City option that I've got on the screen right now, is the one that's returned 38 points with 5 returns in 6. That's 1 goal, 1 assist, and 4 clean sheets with 3 bonus points. The underlying attacking stats aren't amazing, but the fact is he has scored a goal and he has got assists. And there's potential of him playing at left back as well in one of the games. So that is because Mendy is out and Zinchenko hasn't just been selected naturally as the first choice. Delph has seen a very big drop in his game time. So Laporte could be playing as left back in one of these 2 games. If that's going to up his potential to get attacking points is another matter, but 38 points out of the last 6 games he's played in is pretty impressive. The other 3 kind of have similar points. Otamendi on 26, Stones on 24, Walker on 22. Walker has the more game time assurity, then it's Otamendi and Stones is the one kind of lagging behind. But all have 3 returns in 6, all have 3 clean sheets, and neither of them have a goal or assist to their name. But it is interesting to note that Otamendi has 5 bonus points to his name. That's 2 more than Laporte and Kyle Walker and 3 more than John Stones. So that is something to take on board. Also, underlying stats wise, Otamendi does win out with 8 penalty area touches, 7 shots on goal, 6 from inside the box, and 2 on target, with Kyle Walker just behind on 5 penalty area touches, 4 shots on goal, 1 from inside the box, and 2 chances created. Now, John Stones is the one that I would ignore here if I was going to ignore anyone. Laporte looks like the one with the highest points potential ceiling, and then the game time assurity seems to go to Kyle Walker. So if you are looking to take advantage of the fact that Manchester City could have the potential for 2 clean sheets in this double game week, I would probably look at Laporte or Kyle Walker. Otamendi would be an outside shout, and of course Edison is the nailed on choice where you wouldn't have to worry about it. But of course you could just triple up on Man City midfield and attack. So let's have a look at the underlying stats for the midfielders. So looking at the midfield, and we're going to focus on Raheem Sterling, David Silva, Bernardo Silva and Leroy Sané. And I want to say this right off the bat, bring Sterling in. Just do it, even if he only plays in one of the game weeks. Sterling right now is in form, 54 points from the last 6 games he's played in, 5 goals, 3 assists, 7 bonus points with 44 penalty area touches, 17 shots on goal, 12 from inside the box, 10 on target with 4 big chances, 10 chances created and 3 big chances created. Everyone is going to bring this guy in. The people that aren't free hitting probably already own Raheem Sterling because they free hit in 31, which means they had Sterling in game week 30. So Sterling is the player to own. He might not score anything, but if he does score big and you don't own him, it's really going to hurt your game week. So My advice to everyone is to have Raheem Sterling. He's going to be one of the most highly owned players in this double game week. But then we have the other options. Are we going to double up on Man City midfield? For me, we've got Leroy Sané at 9.3 million. We know what he can potentially do because he has done it this season. He has also done it in Europe. However, he does seem to be slightly out of favour in Pep Guardiola's eyes right now. He's got 17 points, 1 return in the last 6. His underlying stats aren't too great. He doesn't seem in the best form of his life. He seems like he had his purple patch around Christmas time. And then we have the 2 silvers. Now, I've not put Kevin De Bruyne in here purely because there's slight injury worries about him, although he has had a decent amount of game time recently. And then I'm not really looking at any of the other Man City options because their point ceiling probably is slightly lower than David Silva and Bernardo Silva. Now, there's been a lot said about Bernardo Silva being one of Pep Guardiola's favourites, but actually looking at game time, it looks like David Silva is the one that gets more game time in the Premier League. Bernardo Silva seems to be one trusted to potentially lead a team or be one of the main players in a team that aren't as experienced in the cup competitions. David Silva also comes in with a price tag 1 million more than Bernardo Silva, so potentially that might force you into going to Bernardo Silva. But David Silva does have 25 points to Bernardo Silva's 17. He has 3 returns in the last 6 to Bernardo Silva's 1. He's got 3 assists and 2 bonus points to Bernardo Silva's 1 assist and 0 bonus points. Also, penalty area touches well in David Silva's favour of 55 to 31. Shots on goal 10 to 9 in David Silva's favour. Shots inside the box 9 to 7 in David Silva's favour, with shots on target actually in Bernardo Silva's favour with 3 to 2. Big chances equal at 3 apiece, with 14 chances created by David Silva and 12 created by Bernardo. However, Bernardo has created more big chances, 4 to 3 compared to David Silva. So to me, it's probably a coin toss in the double game week. Which of these will do better? I would lean towards David Silva, but as long as you've got Raheem Sterling, I think that's the most important thing to cover with this Manchester City midfield. And then we have the Manchester City strikers, and I did this just to have full clarity of me looking at every single option. But let's be honest, you look at those stats, and even without really me diving into them, you know Aguero is the better option. Right now, Aguero is the favoured striker. A lot of people said stuff about him being rotated, but he clearly plays when he can play. He is the most favoured option, and Manchester City are still trying to win the Premier League. You're comparing 52 points for 11.8 million to 10 points for 9.9 million in Aguero to Gabriel Jesus. You've got 4 returns in 6 compared to 1 return in 6. 7 goals to 1 goal. He's got 1 assist. Jesus doesn't. Penalty area touches 44 to 10. Shots 23 to 6. Shots inside 18 to 6. On target 12 to 4. Big chances 9 to 4. Chances created 3 to 1. Now, I will say this in Gabriel Jesus' defence. He's not had anywhere near as much game time as Aguero, but that is a plus point for Sergio Aguero. And we can see that if Man City need to win a game when Aguero isn't playing, he gets brought on like he did in the FA Cup to try and get those goals to win the game. So I think Aguero is a very safe option for this double game week. And again, like Sterling, I think you need Aguero on your side. Of course, that is going to bring up the coin toss of who to captain, because that will be a difficult decision. Both are capable of big hauls. We've seen both happen. I think this again is going to be a game week where a lot of people own both. So definitely, if you only have one, bring in the other for this double game week if you can. And then finally, what we'll do is we'll compare the 4 players that I kind of picked as my favourite choices and compare them against each other. And the plus point for this is you can see that Laporte in the last 6 games he's played in has actually outscored David Silva, and it's 5.9 million to David Silva's 8.5. He's got 5 returns compared to Silva's 3 returns in the last 6 games, and he's got 1 goal, 1 assist to David Silva's 3 assists. Now, underlying statistics, of course, are always going to be in David Silva's favour. He is a midfielder compared to a defender, but it is just interesting to note that Laporte in his last 6 games played has outperformed David Silva as far as FPL points. What is also interesting to note is Sterling and Aguero, both around the same price, both around the same points scored, Sterling actually scoring 2 more points. But returns is in Aguero's favour 4 to 6, goals in Aguero's favour 7 to 5, however assists 3 to 1 in Sterling's favour. Penalty area touches is exactly the same. All shooting statistics, however, are in favour of Aguero, and all distribution statistics are in favour of Raheem Sterling. It's really, really close between these two, so for me to try and predict who's going to score the most points, you might as well flip a coin. It would probably be just as likely to be right as I am in taking a guess. I'm going to own both. The captain armband will probably be on one, and then the vice captain armband on the other. I very rarely go all out and say on my videos, this is the move you should make. but I really do think if you don't have Sterling and Aguero, you are just potentially shooting yourself in the foot. Yes, it's completely possible that they're both blank. This is football, anything can happen. However, if they both do really well and you don't own them, or you only own one and the other one does well, it will be a detriment to your season. So if you're going to take anything from this video and you can't pick that third Man City player, please just make sure the two you do own are Sterling and Aguero. Anyway guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video today. If you have, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you're new to the channel, and that notification bell so you know when my videos go live. We are trying to pump out the content during international breaks, so we are completely ready for Double Game Week 32 and beyond. So make sure to leave in the comment sections down below any questions you have regarding the Double Game Weeks, and I'll try and get back to as many of them as I possibly can. I've been JNO, this has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game.